Hi, Pella Christian Grade School. Today we are going to do something a little bit different. I thought this week, instead of me showing you how to make a piece of artwork step by step, we're going to give you a little bit more choices so you can be a little bit more creative with it. So, here we go. All right, so this week we are going to look at an artist. His name is Edward Hopper. See if I can move my face. There you go. Edward Hopper, he loved to do paintings of houses. So we're going to look at some of his artwork, all right? And then you guys are going to do an artwork of your own house. So for this project, we are going to be beauty creators. Everybody's going to get to make their own artwork, and it's going to look unique to yours. So before we get started, I wanted to start with a verse about houses because we're going to be drawing houses. This verse is from Isaiah 65:21, and it says, "They shall build houses and inhabit them. They shall plant vineyards and eat their fruit." This is talking about God's chosen people, the Israelites, and God has promised that they would have houses to build and live in them. And it's a picture of heaven and how he is preparing a house for us to go live with him. And we cannot wait to live with him. But until then, we have our earthly houses. And so we're going to look at some houses today. Here are our learning targets. It says, I can create a work of art that shows my home. And then 2 is, I can make art that helps tell a story about my home. So let's look at some artwork that will make more sense of how you can tell a story. All right, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, and I think my face will go away. So here is one of Edward Hopper's houses. Now, you can pause the video anytime because I'm going to ask a bunch of questions, and I want you guys to look really closely. Okay, you ready? Who do you think lives in this house? Can you imagine standing in the painting? What do you think you would see? What do you think you would hear? Did anyone notice what's right in front of the house? Down here? What is that? A railroad track. So I'm wondering if you would hear a train coming in the distance. Okay, imagine you're still standing in the painting. What do you think you would feel? Would you feel the wind? How about the sun shining brightly on this side? Or maybe you would feel the coolness of the shadow on this side of the house. Do you see shapes? What type of lines do you see? How about colors? Here's another one of Edward Hopper's houses. You could ask yourself the same questions. But notice in this one, do you think you'd hear any children running around playing? I don't see any people. I wonder who lives there. I've seen a house like this before. I don't know this particular house, but we've all seen houses like these before, or this one. Edward Hopper lived in America, and he wanted to paint houses, American houses, that tell a story about the Americans that live there. It's not a big, crazy castle. but just normal houses, just like in our own neighborhoods or gas stations. Okay, one more. So imagine again that you are standing in this painting. What do you see? What do you think you would hear? Would it be the ocean? Would you hear the waves gently crashing against the shore? Maybe you'd hear some seagulls, although I don't see any seagulls. What do you think you would feel? Imagine you're standing barefoot. What do you feel underneath your toes? What might you taste? Do you taste the sea salt in the air? How about smell? So Edward Hopper wanted to tell these stories about the people that lived in the houses. So your project this week is to make a work of art. It could be a drawing, it could be a painting. Oh, there it is bigger. It could be a painting. It's really up to you, but you're going to make a picture of your house, and I want you to try to tell a story. The people that look at your art, can they imagine themselves standing there and ask themselves, what do I see? What do I hear and feel? Okay, so do you think you guys can make a picture of your house and tell a story? This is an example that I have been working on. This is my house that I lived in before I came to Pella. So I don't have any people in the front, but I did want to include my dogs. So it's telling a story of when I lived there, and I lived with my 2 old dogs. So that's my story. What is your story? I cannot wait to see all the different stories that you come up with your house, okay? So a few more things to think about is when we looked at this picture, I asked about shapes. So just start with the shapes that you see in your house. Start with the lines and go from there. Are you going to include yourself in the picture, or your family, or maybe your pets? Or is it going to be empty, like a lot of Edward Hopper's paintings? All right, so happy making artwork of your houses this week. And let me know if you like this type of video better, and I'll keep doing it this way. Otherwise, I'll go back to our step-by-step. All right, have a good week, Pella Christian.